Yo, what's good, world? What's good? It's your boy Preezy, back with another edition of Industry Insights, where I share shrewd words of wisdom from various entrepreneurs, executives, musicians, entertainers, and other great figures within the business sector. Today, to cap off Women's Month, I'm here to share 10 industry insights from legendary record executive Sylvia Rhone to help inspire you to reach the peak of your industry. Enjoy.
I think the majority of their money, their revenue, is generated by touring. And when you're an artist like, say, Jay and Beyonce, you know, they're making hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars on touring. They might not be selling as many records. But the fact is that no one is selling as many records as they used to, and we're not making as much money as we used to. The revenue has shifted very quickly from physical to downloads to streaming. And right now, you know, the forecast is that streaming by 2016 will be our #1 revenue generator. And it's changed pretty drastically year over year. So yeah, we're adjusting to that change. And artists make money off of streams as well, but they'll make most of their money off of merch and touring. I'm honored and I'm humbled because I have given my entire life to the movement of the culture. And when I look around the room, there's so many old friends, there's so many important people, and our one common goal is to protect the culture. And I think now more than ever that since our culture has gotten so popular, and those people who have never been a part of the culture but see that they can make a lot of money now, we have to watch very closely. You can always look back at your career, and think about, you know, that someone took you away from something that you built without really, you know, not knowing how deeply that can hurt. And they have nurtured and developed amazing talent, and they did it on their own. They've had the support of a great company behind them, and I worked with them for a period of maybe 5 or 7 years, and I've been a fan, and they're hard workers. They know what the street wants. They react to that. They are great businessmen, and they've become really a role model for what the business of hip-hop is. There was music everywhere. There were jazz clubs, if you heard music through the church, if you heard music on the street corner, if you heard music on 125th Street from the walls of the Apollo Theater. Harlem was the soundtrack and the soul of New York City. And that's the education I took with me into the music business. And that's the secret of the Berkeley degree. I was just appointed chairman of Elektra Records, and there was a huge management upheaval at the Warner Music Group. And they made us choose sides. So I could either have gone with the path of least resistance and said I was on the side of a person that I didn't agree with, that I didn't respect, and who didn't respect me, but he seemed to be the heir apparent. Or I could go on the path of resistance and align myself with the person who was my mentor, and I respected, and I thought had been treated unfairly. And it was so intense because I got a call like it was like I was in like the Pelican Brief or something. It was like late at night, whisper on the phone, whose side are you on? Da, 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 da. It was real. It was so intense. I mean, literally, that's what happened. From like very senior people that I was surprised would go to that extent. It was the first time I was ever in corporate intrigue. Now I'm in corporate intrigue and it means nothing to me. I'm just, okay, whatever. But at that point I had to make a decision, and I made a decision based on my character and my loyalty. And I could have been totally out the door, but I was kept because I stood my ground. And so it taught me a huge lesson of that you really have to follow your heart. You have to really have ethics and principles, and you can never let those be compromised, ever, ever, ever. And I take my role as a senior member of the female executive music world very seriously, and I always have. And I think that I always base my success as an important role model to allow other people like me to have entry into the business. And so I think on that note that I am still super excited about the business, super excited about having #1 record, super excited about having the biggest streamed record in years. Super in the world, all about that bass. But those are things that like still excite me to this day.
About the journey.
It's always about the journey. And it's really it's incumbent on everybody in this room. And if you're in a position at a label, because it's really the labels that haven't been in the business at all with any prominence.
What about the influence of digital on marketing? So the likes of Rihanna and Justin Bieber, are known for having millions and millions of followers online. Do you think you can be successful without having that sort of digital prowess as an artist? I think it's hard nowadays, especially for an artist. I mean, it's kind of like the backbone of our digital marketing department. Everybody looks at those numbers outside of the business, even if it's a brand that's looking that you want to do a strategic partnership with. Mm-hmm. Those social media numbers become paramount in their decision. So, the business has been shifting for a long time, and now most of our marketing really is digital. Mm-hmm. It's very little that's done in the traditional marketing space. Right.
This gathering tonight has really brought home how important it is to have people who are there to help you take the next step in your journey. I've had mentors in my own life, and Doug Morris being one of the most important mentors in my life, who gave me an opportunity as an African American woman to do something that Black people had never done before in a company, chair a company. That was about So I can tell you from personal experience that there's no substitute to having friends to help you navigate and prosper in a challenging world.